go round humping, even the old piston pumping.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today we're here with the legendary, someone who's very legendary. He spent more than half of his life in the music industry. He has a number of hits from Burma Road Riot, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, and Bahamian Piston, just to name a few. He has worked with other legendary Bahamian artists such as Count Bernardino as well as Sweet Emily, just to name a few. I present to you today Mr. Ronnie Butler. Mr. Butler, thank you for taking the time to sit and chat with us.
It is indeed a pleasure, ma'am.
That's great. How are you today?
I am doing very well, especially seeing as how I'm in the company of a beautiful woman.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I ain't talking about the fellas now.
Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate your compliment. Starting off, I would like to ask you, how long have you been in the music industry?
Going on 62 years.
62 years?
Yes.
How has that been for you?
It has been one heck of a journey.
I can imagine.
And let me tell you, if I had to do it all over again, 10 more times,
I can imagine.
I
Yes,
love
sir.
it, love it.
Yeah.
Loved it then, and I still do.
Wonderful. And you look awesome. You look great.
You mean for my age?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very
yes.
much. Thank you very much.
How many songs have you recorded?
Oh, do you know? I can't. I never counted.
Wow.
But I think it's close to at least 80, 90.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And what would you say was your most popular song? And do you mind singing that for us, or the one that you enjoyed the most?
No, I will tell you my favorite song, but I am not going to sing.
Okay.
My favorite song. My favorite Bahamian song that I wrote
Yeah.
is Burma Road.
Okay.
That is right from home.
Right.
That's home.
Right.
That's us.
Right.
And that'll always be my favorite song.
Right. Because of the connection with the Burma Road Riot.
Well, no, not because of the connection with the Burma Road Riot. Because if you listen to the song, I don't say very much about the riot.
Right.
It's about us and our culture, what we eat, what we wear, and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, it's us.
Yes.
Where we come from on the island, you know, we used to eating peas and grits and steamed fish, and when we had that for Sunday dinner, that was big dinner.
Yes.
Big time food. Okay, now if you ain't got steak, you ain't saying much.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know? But that's the way it is. I was telling some people the other day, we lost so much of our culture, it ain't funny, okay? Because I know what it is to go looking for pigeon plum, okay? And darling plum, hog plum, okay? Tamarind. You don't hear about them kind of things, of bark and almonds. You don't hear about things like that no more. It's finished.
You're right.
It's just part of our culture. It's all gone. And you know, to be honest with you, it just seems like the governments, plural, because all of them just alike. That's when it comes to trying to help to keep culture alive. They really could care less. This is the conclusion I've come to, and I really don't care. I won't get on the Arab show one of these days,
Right.
so I could really. They'll probably fire him and deport me, because no, I do have some things I want to say.
Well, hopefully you get
You
that
know?
opportunity in the very near future.
But no, Burma Road is my favorite song.
Okay, that's awesome. So, what inspired you to want to do music to begin with?
I don't know that it was one particular thing. You know, as a child, like most Bahamians at that time, come, you know, Sundays you drive to church, whether you got tennis on or whether you're barefoot, you know, patch in your backside, you know, you would drive to church, and they sang in church. So we started singing in church. I started singing in church, and I enjoyed singing in church. And as I grew older, I mean, I say older, like at 16, I happened to be living in an area in Mount Royal Avenue where my friends and I used to gather in the evening, and we'd be playing the jukebox, and I'd be singing along with whoever's singing, whether it's Dean Martin or Roy Hampton or Johnny Mathis, whoever, I'd be singing along with the jukebox. And so, like I said, I just got to like it. It wasn't no one particular thing.
Okay, that's awesome. Where would you say the bulk of your support comes from? Is it the younger Bahamians, the middle age, or the older audience, or it's just a mixture of everyone?
I think it's a mixture of everyone.
Okay.
I've been around a long time, so I've crossed over generations, and it's nice for me to be able to sit back and say, I have the 60 and 70-year-olds. I have the 50-year-olds, and I've got the 45-year-olds, and whatever, right down the line to about 20. So I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, awesome. Is a career in Bahamian music, is it beneficial in your opinion? Or I'm sure it's enjoyable. You have to have a passion for what you do, but do you think it's beneficial?
To be perfectly honest with you, there was a time when it was.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when it was. There was a time when, this might sound like a joke to you, but there was a time when there were 39 nightclubs on Nassau. Okay? I could name them. 39 nightclubs on Nassau. We had 9 clubs on Bay Street. Okay?
Wow.
Okay. And at that time, we had maybe 600,000 tourists coming here per year. Now we got 5-6 million, and we ain't got no clubs.
Wow.
And you tell me, because all these clubs, I'm telling you, they had bands, whether it was a 3-piece bands or just on the weekends, but there were bands at all these clubs.
Yeah.
And so everything musically has just gone down the hill as far as that is concerned. We had hotels like the British Colonial, what is now the Hilton. They had bands on the patio by the pool. They had a band in the bar, and they had a band in the dining room. Mm-hmm. Okay, I worked at a hotel called the Nassau Beach back then. Mm-hmm. Had 400 rooms and 6 bands, and entertainment from 11 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And that's why people was coming back. We had people coming back all the time. I mean, you and your husband leave here and say, well, okay, it was nice seeing you. We can get back to you soon, right, and all that. And 3 weeks later, you go to work and they're sitting right up front, back already.
Right.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
Not no more.
Do you think Bahamian music is lost, or because it's competing with other genres such as reggae, or a lot of the young people, they like rap and stuff like that, or Christian gospel rap? Do you think Bahamian music is lost or it's declining?
It is. It is. There's a few of us who are trying, and when we are done, okay, there will be no more.
Right.
Because again, we have, and I have to blame the governments,
Right.
because they allowed. I remember speaking to a politician, and this is not the place to call his name, but I will say he was an FNN, and I was in a place on Mackey Street called Mr. T's. This is about 20 years ago. Myself and maybe 8 or 9 other band leaders. And I said to him, why can't we say to the radio stations, in order to get your license, you must play 80% Bahamian music. He said to me, no, we can't do that because that will be intruding on infringing on their rights to airways. And I said to him, I said, you don't want to infringe on their rights as opposed to losing our culture. Which one would you? I said, well, no, you got a point there, but you don't work like that. I said, okay. But that is the mentality. Okay, I know for a fact that what's his name in Jamaica, Manley, Prime Minister or President or whatever he was, he blocked out all the foreign music coming into the country. So to the point where all Jamaican people could hear was Jamaican music. So you got reggae, ska, all the different soca, not soca, I think soca is Trinidad and stuff, but what I'm saying is people, and see, they don't forget because it's drilled into them. It's a form of brainwashing. And if you can't, it's like if you hear a song and you say, well, God, that's a lousy song. That's so lousy, but you keep hearing it, and next thing you know, 2 weeks later, you're humming along with it. A month later, you'll be singing along with it because it's brainwashing. You know what I mean? And the governments wouldn't. There's so many things that is wrong in this country right now, especially when it comes to culture. Okay, and they talk about culture like sailing boat and track and field. That's not culture. Every country in the world sailboat and have track and field. The Bahamas is the only country in the world that jump in them. That's culture. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. So does a career in the Bahamian music industry, does it provide financial stability?
It used to. But now you have just a few of us who try to survive with the little that we do, because there's no such thing as going to a hotel now and sitting down in a bar with your boyfriend and listening to Ronnie and the Ramblers or Ira Store and Spank Band. No. The only time people like us work now is when you're gonna have a birthday party or wedding reception or something like that. Or somebody's having a concert. Okay. It's no regular job like it used to be. Okay. They built a giant of a monstrosity out on Cable Beach. Okay, and I could tell you, I know for a fact that they was hiring one musician to play piano or one guitar player to play over there in the next place. They weren't hiring bands. It's like they look out for the waitresses and the waiters and the bartenders and everybody else. They don't look out for musicians. Because to me, what makes people, and when people go to a country to enjoy themselves, is entertainment. If you are not being entertained, you go from here to Florida, or let's say you go to Vegas. Every door you turn, entertainment. That's why it's so successful. Because the people don't gamble 24 hours a day. So when they're not gambling, they want to be entertained.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly. And that brings me to my final question. What do you wish to say about Bahamian music that can encourage Bahamians to value artists like yourself and your music a bit more?
Say that again?
I said, what would you like to say to Bahamians and to my fellow classmates, perhaps who's going to watch this video, to encourage them to value Bahamian music and artists like yourself some more?
I would say to them, boycott the radio stations that are playing all of this American music. Because let me tell you, it seems like everything we do here is geared to go out of the country. Okay? The foreigner come in with a couple of dollars, he could go and borrow all kind of money with a piece of paper in his hand, but the Bahamian can't go to the bank and borrow a dime. Okay? And then when the foreigner making that's big money, so this kind of money done in the country. When I do record a song, every time that song is played on the radio, I get 25 cents. Not when I'm talking about all the people all the entertainers who do recordings. Now, if I am getting 25 cents from each one of the songs, each time the song is played, imagine, and you know they don't play Bahamian music nowhere near as much as they play foreign music. So what does that say? All the money, I would say, if all the money is coming in a year, it's $500,000 from all the radio stations, the Bahamians might get 50,000 because all they excuse me, all they play is American and folk music. Not all, but basically. So that's money going out of the country. Can you imagine $400,000 or $450,000 of that money staying in me and Tom, Dick, or Harry could maybe get together and say, well, listen, you know, let's the four of us get together, because we can't go to the bank and borrow money, but let's say the 4 or 5 or whatever it is, get together, let's build a club. You know, you could do something, at least the money stays here, as opposed to going out to the country. Plus, the culture continues. Like it is now. I told him already, in 20 years, it's not going to be no such thing as Bahamian music. In 20 years, there ain't going to be no such thing as Bahamian music. Because there's no money in it, there's no way to, you can't survive. So how you gonna, why should you continue beating up your head against the wall and you can't survive? It's a sad situation.
It is a sad reality, unfortunately. But Mr. Butler, I thank you so much. I know you're a very busy person, a very busy individual, and I thank you so much for taking this time to answer my questions. I appreciate you, and I encourage you to keep pressing forward. And I thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it's so nice to meet you in person.
My pleasure. Pleasure.
Thank you. And there you have it, the interview with the legendary Mr. Ronnie Butler. And thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Mr. Butler.